agitating farmers are now demanding that they be mandated a minimum support price for the crops that they produce. This is the single key demand that's now being made before the Modi government, which is refusing to buckle under pressure, saying that MSP exists but it cannot be mandated under law. Government estimates suggest that if MSP is to be legalized, it could bankrupt India and it could be fiscally disastrous. Where does the reality lie? This is an emotional, political and economic debate, and on this broadcast I am delighted and privileged to be joined by two sharp voices on the opposite ends of this polarized debate. I want to begin by introducing Dr. Ramesh Chand. He's a member of the Niti Aayog, has the rank of Union Minister of State, is a PhD in agricultural economy, is one of India's leading agricultural economists, was responsible in part for drafting the 3 farm laws and for conceptualizing the reform that the Modi government wanted to carry out in agriculture, which have now been scuppered by the farm protests. Squaring off against him on this broadcast is one of the most prominent faces of the farmer agitation. Yogendra Yadav runs Swaraj India, a well-known political analyst, and has been doing some calculations of his own on why he believes India can indeed afford a minimum support price. I want to start by asking Dr. Ramesh Chand to set the context for this debate. Why is it that the government believes that MSP mandated by law is simply not possible, that the cost will be too high, that India cannot afford this, and this would really lead to India's economy being bankrupt? What the farmers are asking for is unreasonable. Why is it that you believe that the MSP cannot be mandated by law? Dr. Chand, welcome.
There are so many factors in this. One is that if we try to implement MSP on all 23 crops throughout the country, the way we are doing it in case of rice and wheat and cotton, then certainly it's going to bankrupt the country. I have done the calculation. I can share those today or subsequently. The simple reason for that are two. The first reason is that when you implement MSP through procurement, it amounts to 40% of the cost to the government, 40% of MSP as cost to the government, which means whatever value of these 23 crops, Harish Modran says it is 12 lakh, then you take 80% of it, it comes to 75% of it comes to 9 lakh, and 40% of that 90 lakh become 3.6 lakh crore of rupees. Now one can ask me from where this 40% number comes. I did the calculation. You know that there are taxes in the market, mandi charges, etc. Then there are procurement incidental, storage, interest, losses, all those kind of things. So my calculation is based on experience of wheat, where it comes to 40%.
So give me a headline figure, so Dr. Ramesh Chand. According to you, if the farmers' demand in the way that they are making it were to be implemented, what is the extra amount this would cost the Indian government?
The total cost of this intervention will be 3.6 lakh crore if we take into account MSP and production of year 2020-21 into consideration. Okay, that is the figure only for this MSP. But we should not forget that government is not giving support only for MSP. There are several other kind of support being given to farming sector. Around 80,000 crore as fertilizer subsidy, then nearly 50-60,000 crore at PM Kisan Nidhi. Then there is interest subvention, other small subsidies which can vary between 30 to 40,000 crore of rupees. So if you sum these, it comes to 5.35 lakh crore in terms of giving subsidy only to the producers. But then you know that there is also food subsidy which comes to 2.43 lakh crore. Then there is Narega. Anyway, I don't want to go into these. So if you sum up all these and compare it, what was the net tax revenue of union government after paying to state, in 2020-21 it was only 13.45 lakh crore of rupees. So these are the broad dimensions, but in these calculations, before we draw this conclusion that it is impossible to give MSP, the second dimension, one is method, I said procurement.
Okay, so I'll come to that
Second
separately.
is
I'll
the
come to that
level of
separately.
MSP.
Let's just build on what you've said. Essentially, if you leave the numbers aside, what Dr. Ramesh Chand is saying is that MSP, in the way that it is being demanded by India's opposition parties and by our farmer leaders, will leave the country with very little money to spend on things like roadways, education, hospital, because it will go towards ensuring that farmers get a minimum support price which has been mandated by law, which means that if you don't pay the farmers what's been agreed upon, there will be a default of that law, and then there may be penal action as a consequence of that. Now, I want to go across to Yogendra Yadav, who was on our broadcast on a clip that went viral, where he argued that this will actually cost the exchequer less than 1 lakh crore rupees. Now, we've got over here one of the country's leading agricultural economists. He's in the government at this moment, but a man with high academic standing, who's saying that at the very least, this will cost 5 times of what you, Yogendra Yadav, said guaranteeing MSP is going to cost the government of India.
Rahul, let me begin by saying how much I respect Dr. Ramesh Chand. We happen to have very different opinions, but I truly respect his knowledge and his honesty. And his honesty is evident from the fact that he did not say what you are saying he said. Did you listen to him carefully?
I did.
He chose his words very carefully. He said, if MSP is given in the manner in which it is given through procurement, then it would cost this much. I hear Dr. Ramesh Chand very carefully. He's an intelligent man. Now, as I made clear to you, Rahul, yesterday, that is not necessarily what we want. What he's saying is this. He's saying that if all the 23 crops and all the product were to be purchased by the government of India, stored in some godowns, allowed to rot, and then resold a few months later, a year later, and the way this happened, then this is what the cost would be. This is not necessarily what we are demanding, Rahul. I tried to explain it yesterday. Let me make another effort. After all, I cannot give up efforts to educate on behalf of the farmers. What we are saying, and Dr. Ramesh Chand would grasp it in a second. He actually already knows what I'm going to say, and I know he supports it. What we are saying is, if the MSP, minimum support price, remember it is the minimum assured by the government. If the minimum support price for paddy, for example, is 1,940 rupees, then farmers' movement is saying farmers should get 1,940, not 1 paisa less. How you do it is your business, Dr. Chand. We are not saying please procure everything. We are saying you have several instruments. A, you can procure. Of course, you cannot procure everything. You can procure a little more of the dals. You can procure a little more of coarse grains. Of course, you cannot procure all other things. The second option, which Dr. Ramesh Chand himself has been an advocate of, and I support it, is deficit payment. And I gave you the example of Haryana yesterday, Rahul. Haryana government this year said Bajra price MSP is 2,250. Farmers should get it. Unfortunately, in the market, they are getting 1,650. The government said so. Actually, they were getting even less. So the Haryana government said, we will simply transfer 600 rupees per quintal to the accounts of the farmers. No purchase, no rotting, no wastage, no 40% cost. Why not do that? And third option, as Dr. Ramesh Chand clearly knows, is selected and limited intervention in the market. Experience shows that if the government enters the market and says we'll buy 5%, 10% of the quantity, price goes up. This has always been a standard policy of the government. Unfortunately, the government has never cared to put enough funds for this policy. The fourth option is to tweak our import-export policy to ensure that the landing price of the crops from outside abroad should not be lower than our MSP. The fifth option is the legal one, to say there should be no auction before MSP. A combination of these five is what is required. And I want to now ask Dr. Ramesh Chand some simple questions, because I'm confident of getting honest answers from him. Sir, is it not true that the government announces minimum support price every year twice? Sir, is it not true that overwhelming majority of farmers, almost 80% of farmers, receive less than that price? Is it not true that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself had recommended that MSP should be turned into a statutory, it should be given a legal basis? Is it not true, sir, that the Agriculture Price Commission, CACP, Commission for Agriculture Price and Cost, had itself recommended that MSP should be made a legal right? Is it not true, Ramesh Chandji, that you yourself were the head of a committee which in 2017, which had recommended that the way of calculation of MSP should be changed, and that your own government has not implemented your own recommendations?
Okay, let's take it one by one. And here's the question I want Ramesh Chand to answer, because the farmers are demanding that MSP be determined on a cost plus basis, that there should be at least 50% more than the cost of production is where MSP should be set, which has nothing to do with demand side factors, which would determine how much consumers are actually willing to pay for that crop. So you're setting prices artificially at a high level, regardless of what the actual demand is. And because in many of these cases, if it's on a cost plus basis, the cost in India will be higher than internationally, therefore we won't be able to export these crops either. Ramesh Chand, can you explain why you believe that this is not sustainable? Why is it that you believe that MSP cannot be set on a cost plus basis?
The criteria which we use for fixation of price determine the nature of support that we are giving to farmers. In first situation, what is strictly called price support, this means that farmer should not be denied what is competitive price and what is remunerative price. It can so happen that there is not adequate competition in the market imperfections are there, infrastructure is weak, collusion among traders is there. Therefore, it becomes duty of the government that this price must accrue to the farmers, and if they are getting lower than this, it is responsibility of every government that they should get the genuine price. I call it fair and remunerative price. The purpose of three laws was to ensure that farmers get fair and remunerative price, but I do not want to go into those three laws. Now, over time, what has happened that we deviated from this pure concept of what is minimum support price, which correspond to fair and remunerative price. We kept making it a measure of income so that it adds more and more to income of the farmers. We got cost of family labor included in it, which in fact is a income to the farmer, not a cost in that sense. We included 50% margin over the imputed cost of family labor, which again in economical literature you will not get a justification for it. So when we are giving say 50%, at least 50% margin cost A to include plus FL, it become a income measures, and it in most of the situation totally deviates from what is required by consumer, what is can be afforded by the consumers. So this is what has happened to the what we call MSP. In fact, once you link it to the cost and keep raising it, as some farmers are even not content with A2 plus FL and 50% margin, they are asking for cost C and 50% margin on that. So then it becomes a income measures which completely ignore demand and supply situation, and which has very other kind of serious implications.
So why don't you explain
So
those implications?
if you
Since this
allow
demand
me,
is being
I
made as
thought-
strongly as it is, explain the implications of why you believe this cost plus MSP
And
that is
my
being asked
questions
for is so
also,
dangerous, and then
Rahul,
also
don't forget
yes,
my
most
questions.
certainly we won't go away from your questions. Explain why you believe this is so dangerous, Ramesh.
First implication of that is that imbalance between what is demanded and what can be sold in domestic market and international markets. You may be producing much higher than what will be demanded. So as a result, you will find that market clearance will not happen, and we will get what we are getting in case of rice and we are getting in case of sugar, that we are producing nearly 30% more sugar than what is the domestic demand, and because we are giving a price which is based on cost A2 plus FL into 1.5, it has no relevance to demand in the country or demand abroad. Therefore, in turn, we are required to shell out subsidy of thousands of crore, not only for export, even in so many other forms, because international price of sugar being 23 rupee, 24 rupee, and domestic price based on statutory price of sugar cane comes to something 29, 30, 31 rupee, depending upon what place we are talking. So we are required to give this gap of 7 rupees per kg of sugar if we want the clearance to happen, otherwise the stock will keep accumulating. This is the biggest kind of, I
so
would say,
we will get you to respond to the points that
There are
Yogendra
other
Yadav made,
implications.
but those are very important arguments that you've just won, and I want to press Yogendra Yadav to respond to the points that you made. Put very simply, you buy sugar cane for 30 rupees a kilo. Internationally, the price is 23 kilos. It keeps loading up because you've mandated a certain price at which you will pick up sugar cane regardless of the production, because it's now mandated by law. It does happen in case of sugar, and we're already seeing how we are producing and procuring much more than we actually require, which has nothing to do with how much is being demanded and what we can do with the sugar cane that we buy. Yogendra Yadav, respond to the points that Ramesh Chand made.
Rahul, since you have become the third participant in this debate, allow me to now put some things very squarely. So Dr. Ramesh Chand, representative of the government here, has clearly said that the highest figure he can possibly put on the MSP is 3.6 lakh crore rupees. I think, Rahul, that puts paid to the nonsense which is being uttered on television. 17 lakh crore rupees, 13 lakh crore rupees. I hope this kind of fear-mongering you shall never do on television. I really want you to assure the viewers that a figure like 17 crore lakh rupees shall never be repeated on the television, number one. Number two, on the issue of sugarcane, wheat and rice, I think you did not manage to listen carefully to what I said yesterday. I think you probably need to speak to economists from some MNCs to understand what I'm saying. Please make a distinction between two things. One is MSP policy, the other is a procurement policy. What most economists are objecting to, what Dr. Ramesh Chand is objecting to, and the point of which I myself see, is the problem of excessive procurement of a few commodities. And what we are demanding, Rahul, is that there should be procurement across all the commodities, all the 22, not procurement, making sure that people get right price. I had explained to you last night that the real problem is that the government announces price for 23 things, but farmers get it only for wheat, for rice because of PDS, and for sugarcane because of a different arrangement with sugar mills. And I had said, for heaven's sake, please expand it. Please give farmer who's growing dal, who's growing coarse grain, who's growing sarso, who's growing oil seeds, please give MSP to all of them. Once you do so, they will stop doing excess production of wheat, of rice, of sugarcane. Do farmers love sugarcane? No, sir. They do it only because this is the only crop for which you give them price. Please start giving them price for other things. So as a matter of fact, why, without realizing it, Rahul, you have actually strengthened my argument. My argument that fair and remunerative price. I really appreciate the language that Ramesh Chand is using, and he's himself. So the representative of Government of India on this show concedes that farmers need fair and remunerative price. That they don't get it, that something needs to be done about it. This is exactly what we are saying. And we are saying that please use price as a mechanism. Please give assured prices to the farmers. Mr. Ramesh Chand has a slightly different position. He says, no, don't use the price route. He says, use the income route, for which the government has done nothing except give 6,000 rupees a year, of which more than 6,000 they have taken away by way of diesel prices, by way of increased costs. So there is not much difference. Actually, Rahul, without you realizing, Dr. Ramesh Chand is on my side. You may be alone in this debate. You have to come stronger now, Rahul. I know you have a position. I know you have a conclusion. But please give facts to back your conclusions. And please request Dr. Ramesh Chand to answer my question. Do I need to list them once again?
No, I think, okay, why don't you repeat your questions and then we'll get Ramesh Chand to respond. I will not take your troll bait and I will not act as a participant in the debate. We will continue to question both sides. That's your point of view.
Right from beginning.
That's your point of view. It's live on TV. Let people draw their own conclusion. I will let you repeat your questions and then I'm going to get Ramesh Chand to respond. Yogendra Yadav, go ahead.
I'm very sure people are drawing their conclusions looking at the show, and your bent of mind, I don't mind it. I like it. 2 versus 1 is lovely. I really love it. Just give me time. So my question to Dr. Ramesh Chand is, number one, sir, is it not true that a working group of chief ministers headed by Shri Narendra Modi had recommended statutory basis of MSP? Is it not true that CACP in year 2017-18, which is the Government of India body under this regime, had recommended a legal basis for MSP? And sir, is it not true that your own committee in 2017 had given a recommendation for increasing the MSP by changing the calculations, which would lead to about 10 to 12% increase in MSP, a report that your own government has not implemented?
Ramesh Chand, do respond to this, because that is a compelling argument. If this is such a cuckoo idea, which is as fiscally ruinous as government economists, free market economists would have us believe, then why was Chief Minister Narendra Modi arguing for this in 2011, if it's such a bad idea?
No, I am coming to this. In fact, this number 3.6 lakh crore, I will come to question of Yogendra ji. This refer to only MSP, but agriculture sector is not getting support only through MSP. There are so many other things, and you just
here's the thing with Yogendra Yadav. In the academic left, he seems to project. He hears only what he wants to hear. So everything else you said, explaining why it's not only 3.8 lakh crores, he ignores all that because that doesn't suit him, so he doesn't hear it.
Rahul,
okay, but let him go ahead and respond.
We are discussing MSP today. No, don't act as a participant. Because we are discussing MSP. You want to discuss PDS another day, hold another discussion. I will discuss PDS. No. I will discuss Manrega, but only when you have a show on that. Today's show is on MSP. Let's focus on MSP.
I take your question. Yogendra ji, I take your question. Yes. First, let me take up, because you said that CACP report says that there should be legal basis for MSP. As far as I understanding, in this country, earlier there was a debate whether the price recommended by CACP should be taken as legal price or this option should rest with the government. Same thing, this present CACP report 2 years back mentioned that there should be legal basis for MSP. They didn't mean that this MSP that is to be given should be legalized, but they were saying is that whatever price CACP is recommending, that should be the final MSP, that should not be changed by the government. On this thing, a committee was earlier constituted under chairpersonship of Dr. Alag. No, okay, we can then sit it and take those pages, and this is a matter of interpretation. But this is how I interpret this recommendation of CACP, which was already turned down by a committee headed by Professor Baike Alag, that this final option should rest with the government. Whatever price is recommended by CACP, it is only an advisory. It should not be that it is a statutory kind of things. Now coming to a report of working group of chief ministers, to be honest with you, I have not recently seen that report. Therefore, I don't feel like commenting on what was this report recommendation. The third question that my report, you know, my committee was constituted in before 2014 by Dr. Manmohan Singh government. It took little longer time to give the report. In fact, constitution of that committee was again because there were protests by farmers. So the then Prime Minister announced two committees, one on WTO and trade and another on this cost and methodology for MSP. I was given the privilege of heading both the committees. But we recommended was that there are some methodological issues in calculation of cost that relate to so many things. So we gave our suggestions only on methodological aspects. If I do the calculation now that if all recommendation of my committee on methodology and cost of which Rakesh Tikait was also a member, other farmer leaders were also a member, but this government did by announcing 50% margin over A2 plus FL, that surpasses what my recommendations were. So we should not look at things coming from always that if you consider it and you can do the calculation, you just find that the basis for MSP turns out to be higher.
Okay, so I have time now for one final question, and I want to quote to you. I want to quote to Yogendra Yadav a point that you made in an article that's been published, and I want Yogendra Yadav to respond as we conclude. Legal MSP cannot work if not supported by demand and supply side factors. At best, it can only work when trade plays lower prices to farmers as compared to competitive market price. Legal MSP can work if the level of MSP is close to the open market or clearance price. If MSP is anchored to a fixed formula of cost plus, which happens to be above the price supported by demand, then private players will not have any incentive to buy the produce of farmers. Price data shows after the adoption of the new formula of MSP in 2018, MSP has remained higher than open market prices and international prices of most of the crops. In such a situation, neither the private sector will buy the produce nor the produce can be exported without subsidizing it. This goes against the farmer's interest. When the private sector does not buy at legal MSP, all the produce that is offered for sale will simply not be purchased. Market clearance will not happen, leading to chaotic situations. Inevitably, the government will be called in to buy. This amounts to taking over agricultural trade by the government, which has serious consequences. Nowhere, not even in socialist countries, is this done. Respond to Ramesh Chand, Yogendra Yadav.
There's nothing to respond to it. This is a very reasonable argument. What should I respond to this? What the simple question is that, and I think that I have not been able to suggest to you the basic point that I have made. That is to say, we do not want only a simple legal basis. We are not saying make it mandatory for traders and then the government does nothing. No, that's not. That would be ridiculous. That experiment happened. It failed in Maharashtra. That is what Dr. Ramesh Chand is arguing against. Of course, I support it. To simply say auction should not take place below MSP and then the government sits back. Of course, it will be a disaster. It has to be backed by government procurement. It has to be backed by government deficit payment. It has to be backed by intervention in the market. All these things are required. So what is there to argue about it? I think I'm not really. But let me ask one question finally, because that's the final part of the thing. The question to Dr. Ramesh Chand is this, sir. And since you know better facts, you have better data than I have. If the entire MSP for all the 22 crops is calculated, and then if we see the actual price that farmers get in the market, what is the total differential, sir? I made the calculation for last year. To my mind, the difference is 36,000 crore rupees. The difference between MSP price and the market price. And by my calculation, if the government adopts deficit payment and other kinds of method, it should cost you a little more than that. What is wrong with this calculation? Because anchors like Rahul are very, very excited in projecting huge figures that would frighten the viewers and close up this discussion. As a friend of the farmers and someone who knows economics, sir, please correct me. What is wrong with this calculation?
Can there be agreement around deficit financing, just paying the farmers the extra between what they are getting in the market and the MSP that's been
set? And the amount that I've calculated, is my calculation wrong?
Is that something which can be a middle ground to resolve this political face-off? Ramesh Chand, final words, sir.
If I heard you right, I think you said 36,000 crore?
Correct.
Yes, sir. The difference between the market price and the MSP price. Yes, for the 22 commodities. Yes, you heard me right, sir.
Yes, Yogendraji, it is not 36,000 crore. I have done the calculations, and again there are complexity in it. Since there is no
what
time, I will give you a
sir?
simple example.
What's your figure?
Whether you calculate, I'm coming. Whether you calculate this difference by taking national average of farm harvest price and MSP, or you take price at state level, or you take price at district level, or you consider the price received by different farmers. That will make a huge difference. That 36,000 crore will become maybe for 1.4 lakh crore or 1.5 lakh crore. Let me give you the reason why. When you are considering at aggregate, now suppose there are 5 units and they are getting a price of 300, 400, 500, 600 and 700. The average comes to 500. And if MSP is 600, the difference between average and this 600 is only 100. But when you consider the price received by each unit, you will just find that it goes to 300. So it is again a law of averages. It is just like that a family crossing the river. They took average height of all family members and depth of the river, and they thought their average is higher than the depth of the river, so we will cross. But when they reached the other side of the river, 2 of the children drowned in the river. So how you calculate, there are so many things. I think we need to sit sometime and resolve it.
Okay,
but
good.
Sir, before you leave, please convince Rahul
That's
of
all.
one thing, that the maximum figure you have quoted is 1.4 lakh crore rupees. Can you convince my friend Rahul never to use ridiculous figures like 17 lakh crore rupees on his show?
I just gave example.
This is just on the issue of, but I don't understand
have
how
not quoted.
Yogendra Yadav only looks at new allocations and disregards all the allocations that are already being made
this is not
as
new.
subsidy.
This is complete allocation. This is not new. This is
The point that I'm making is,
different.
when you look at the 3.8 lakh crores which are coming at this moment, which is what the current demand is, you can't ignore all the money that is currently being allocated for subsidizing Indian agriculture. It needs to be used as an aggregate. But
you
the
are
point
looking
that
at
Ramesh
Harish
Chand
Damodar's
makes...
article yesterday. I'm just giving you comprehensive allocation, and Dr. Ramesh Chand is also talking of comprehensive, which takes into account what is already being spent. So the additional expenditure would be even smaller.
So we haven't been able to arrive at a consensus or a middle ground, but at least we've been able to have an in-depth, reasonable conversation. And why this is important and why we set this up is because this is at the center of the demand that's being made at this moment. It's a huge allocation. The quantum of that allocation still needs to be defined and worked out, but it's a big cost on our government, and it will impact the limited finances the government has and where it gets spent. Agriculture is important, but
And
as
it
is
affects
building roads,
60% of
as
our
is building
population.
as is education, as are highways, ports, airports, and multiple other social projects, development projects, infrastructure projects, which could potentially get impacted. So we've had a good conversation. You heard 2 different points of view. I'm glad we could set this up. Dr. Ramesh Chand, thank you for agreeing to participate in this. Yogendra Yadav, great to have you back. And as Ramesh Chand says, maybe we should sit and have a conversation outside of television. That would be an interesting thing to build on as well. But for the time being, I want to thank Yogendra Yadav and Ramesh Chand for doing something which isn't often seen, having a good, sensible conversation coming from different points of the spectrum, but arguing your points of view on whether India can afford a minimum support price or not. I hope you enjoyed this conversation.